Is my gamer driver about to be getting an upgrade? Paradym out, Paradym Ai Smoke in. Let's go find out. So Paradym is back for this year, but in a slightly new model. So Paradym Ai Smoke. And you can see the name kind of comes from the colouring. We've got a lot more of a kind of that smoky grey finish on the top. And I do really like that texture. I also like the fact they've kept this like carbon print on the bottom because I really liked that from last year. Now, in terms of models, we've had a little bit of tweak to the name, but I think we've kind of still got those kind of 3 clear models that we had last year. We've still got the triple diamond. Instead of the standard Paradym, we've got the Paradym Ai Smoke Max, and then we've got the Max D, which is the drop ice model. We've also got an extra model called Max Fast, which is designed to be kind of a lighter offering, a little bit more forgiving, just easier to hit for people with slower swing speeds. I haven't actually tested that yet, but that is coming into the lineup. I'm going to talk about the main 3 that we've got here today. First up, let's talk tech changes. What's actually new? I feel like this was quite hard. I was going into this presentation when Callaway were explaining the tech, I was thinking, what's going to be better? Because the Paradym was so good last year across the board. Like, where can we go from this? And it's quite interesting. We have this big AI story from Callaway. They use a lot of artificial intelligence, supercomputers to develop the design, but they have kind of merged this with some more old school themes this year. So they've taken data from actual golfers and they've studied thousands of golfers and taken all the data from where they hit the ball on the club face. And what this has done is been fed into the supercomputer to give them really good detail on where people are missing the most often and looking at how they can optimize those parts of the face to make it faster. So really the big story here is kind of forgiveness and more consistent and more speed off those off-center strikes. Effectively, Callaway are saying instead of there just being one sweet spot in the middle, there's now going to be loads of little sweet spots all over the face. So you should get more consistent distance even if you don't strike it perfect, which is what we all want to hear, right? We've also got a new carbon chassis, which is holding the whole club head together, and that's just a little bit lighter, which means Callaway can kind of put the weight where they want it more for optimal performance. We can see in this model the weight track's changed slightly. It's not on the back anymore, it's more on the sole, and it just means we're going to get a little more weight around the perimeter, which is definitely better for MOI and forgiveness. I've hit this in an indoor sim already, so I've got numbers, but it'll be nice to actually see how it flies out on the golf course. I should feel like that launch is a bit higher. That was nice, it went dead straight, so we just stopped the review there. In the bag, straight on the green. We're on the 17th at Ganton, which is normally par 3 for me off the reds, but it's a par 4 off the back. So can I just say that first shot on the course, I knocked on the par 4. Happy days. Now on the sim, I was averaging about 229 yards with this, which is pretty much what I would kind of look for in a driver. Obviously, these are just the initial models they've sent us, so that might change over time if we put different shafts in, etc. What I did like about this, though, is the consistency of the ball flight. And I saw this as well when I hit it out in America, in Texas at the launch. It's super consistent, you get a nice height, and I also like the fact the spin doesn't drop too low, which you can sometimes see in the triple diamond if you don't spin it enough. Especially on off-centre strikes, that spin stays high, keeps the ball in the air. You're going to get that distance and consistency that you want from the driver. Oh, I'm liking the look of this. 2 out of 3 on the green. That's right in the middle of the green as well. 232. It's like 5 degrees today. Imagine how far it's going to go in summer. Happy days. I just think everyone would game the triple diamond if they could, because it looks so nice. I love that deep profile. It really hasn't changed much from last year. We kind of don't have that like little pocket at the back that we did have last time. And we do have the name on there. But I think both look really good. We kind of see, interestingly, we've got a little bit more of a texture on the face this time. There's a lot more detailing, which actually I do like over the ball, just to be able to like align it to the centre more, because there's nothing on that top line. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the content and hopefully helps you see more of it too. Right, back to the video. Now, as with last year, we've got 2 weights on the bottom of this, so you can move these around depending on if you want to lower the spin or add a little bit of loft. Oh, it's so nice. Slightly higher pitch than the other one, actually. It's quite interesting, which I didn't really pick up on the sim. Certainly a lower flight, and it's gone a little bit further. That nearly went in the hole, I'm not gonna lie, that nearly went in the hole. I swear, I never hit this green when I'm hitting like 6-iron from down there. And I've hit 3 out of 4 balls on there. What's going on? It's just all that forgiveness. I actually feel like the ball flight's a lot more stable than it was with the triple diamond last year, because last year at the start of the season I put triple diamond in play, then I felt like on my days where I wasn't swinging the best, it wasn't as forgiving as I probably needed, so I did move into the main Paradym. Whereas with this so far, it seems a little bit more consistent to me, which I guess would be the theme that we've seen from that tech story. It does go further than the max, so this was travelling about 6 yards on average further for me. So my average I got up to over 235, which is really good, because typically that's kind of what I think like 235 to 245 is like a really good strike for me. So getting my average up there is definitely a longer driver. See, that was a bit heely, but it still got up to pin high and it's gone straight, which I really like. Off-centre strike consistency. Basically, overall with this model, compared to the max in the middle, you're going to get a little bit more distance, about half a club probably. A lower trajectory, definitely, you could easily see that in the short traces, hopefully. And less spin, probably about 400 to 500 RPM, a bit dependent on strike location. Obviously, if you do really want something with a lower trajectory but you need more spin, you can tweak these weights around to change that. Right, last up we have the Max D. For everyone who needs a bit of help, either straighten the short shape out or if you want to hit more of a draw. Now this should also go a bit higher in theory just because of the CG location. Draw bias drives just make me nervous, like, lads, I've hit enough snap hooks. I need a fade bias. But do you know what? This does sit really good behind the ball, though sometimes you get a draw bias club and it looks really shut. That's not the case with this at all. Definitely looks like it has a bit more loft though. God, it definitely launches higher. And I saw that in the sim room too. Compared to the max, this was going like 20 feet higher on average. So if you're someone who struggles with like the full ball flight, wants to get the ball higher in the air, this is definitely a really good option. Now, if you are that person where you think, oh, I don't really need any help hitting a draw, you can use the adjustable hosel and tweak the face angle. So you could get it kind of to straighten out more, but still give you that height. So there's always options. It's not necessarily just what the club says on the tin. That one went left. Pretty straight ball flight though, to be honest. Now, in terms of distance, in testing, this was actually the second longest on average. So I got this up to 232 on average, which I think is pretty good. I think some of that comes down to the fact you've got more height on the shots, a bit more hang time, a bit more consistency to the launch. So it just gives you a little bit more of a consistent distance. So almost kind of the direct opposite to the triple diamond, because I was getting more distance with that because it's smaller and I could swing the club head faster. So you don't always generate distance in the same way. That's why it's good to kind of test all the models. Now, overall, to be honest, all three of these models have performed well. I would say I'm tinkering between the triple diamond and the max again. I don't think the Max D is for me just because my general miss is left. So it probably makes me swing a little bit tentative because of that, trying not to miss it left. But obviously if you're someone who does want help squaring it up, it is a really good model, and in terms of that height, it is really helpful. Now, the big thing is, like, am I going to put this in the bag? Like, the Paradym has been my gamer, so am I going to swap? I think we need to do a little bit of head-to-head testing and find out. Okay, let's go back and hit my Paradym. See, when I come back to this, I almost think it's kind of a shame they got rid of that blue finish. I did really like it. Decent hit, pitch short the green run up. I would say it definitely looked a little bit lower than I had with the max before. But in terms of data, 214 carry from a 94 club head speed, 2,600 spin, height was at 60 feet. Oh, that was a push. That is not on the green. Weirdly, the carry was only 2 yards shorter, although I did swing it 2 miles an hour faster then. It was just open and quite spinny. That was good. That was nice. Pitched on, longest one, 221 carry. Quite spinny actually, that. I am gonna put the same shaft in just for, I guess, fairness of test. People will get annoyed if I don't, but I won't condone you always doing this, because every time a head changes, CD changes, loft changes, spin changes, so you might find you do need a different shaft from model to model. But in terms of fairness for this test, I will do it this time. Right, new drive time. Definitely goes a lot higher. I actually like that, because in my optimizer it's saying I need to hit it higher. Interestingly, my club head speed has dropped down a bit, but my carry distance has gone up to 222. So that's nice. height is up to 78 feet. Some of the last ones were in the 60s. I think one got up to 70. So at least 10 foot high, almost 20 foot on like my worst shot with the other club. Felt a little blocky, but it's gone dead straight. It's quite nice. Interestingly, both of these are pitched in the middle of the green. You can see how the extra height is really helping me out in the optimizer here. I would say this head is probably slightly bigger than last year's in terms of visual shaping, which is probably why the club head speeds down a bit, but I'm getting more efficiency out of it. Imagine if I could swing this one 96 like I did the other, it'd go miles. Oh, that was nice. In the hole. 93. Now, obviously you can tell from my apparel today, it's pretty cold. Hence why the ball speeds are not as fast as I can always get kind of in peak summer. But to be honest, in this temperature, 225 carry I'd be pretty pleased with. Now, if we go and just do a little comparison of that data, first I wasn't expecting to see as much difference as that. So I swung my Paradym 2 mile an hour faster. Some of that might just be down to the familiarity of the club, maybe a little bit into the shaping. The ball speed was pretty similar. I mean, I was 0.3 mile an hour faster with the new club, but the smash factor was a lot better. So I went from 1.46 with the Paradym to 1.49 with the new Ai Smoke Max, which is obviously like helping me out in terms of distance. My launch angle's gone at 1.8 degrees, so nearly 2 degrees. My spin's come down 300 RPM, but I've got an extra 9 feet of height, and all that's led to an extra 7 yards of distance, which is pretty helpful. But also, it just felt more consistent. The launch felt a little bit more consistent to me. I would say overall this year, like, my miss has kind of been like a low left, so actually something that lifts the ball up for me is definitely going to be pretty helpful. And also, I loved the Paradym last year. The consistency, the distance, it was all really good. So I wasn't really expecting a massive jump, and actually this is a lot more than what I was expecting to see. And for us, there's nothing really here that's telling me I shouldn't upgrade, and that isn't even with a custom fit shaft, so could be interesting. Maybe I've got a new club for the bag.